Welcome to the Voncast show. Today I got second time guest James. We got Jaden in the back. It was Taiwanese rapper.
What's up?
So today we're talking about your most recent project. What was it called again?
It's called Ahma Alan. Ahma means grandma in Taiwanese or Chinese too, and it's about a grandma who has to go from a small town in Taiwan to the capital of Taipei to pull her American-born grandson out of jail for teaching English illegally in like a kindergarten. Yeah.
Right.
Loosely true story. Loosely based on some experiences I had back in the day. Yeah.
Right. So you filmed this in Taiwan.
Yeah.
You casted roles. I remember Jaden and I were there helping you cast in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So you didn't just like pretend like just go on some set. Oh, we're in Taiwan, but you're in like Hollywood. You went to Taiwan for it.
Yeah, I mean, so there was one main role, the ABC grandson who's like I wanted around the 20s, around age mark, and like basically he was that was the main role I was casting for, and I got Gregory Yan, who's great. He was I think he might have been in one of your guys like when he came through. Yeah, so yeah, that was interesting because I've never done I've done some casting, or I've been in the casting room before, but it's the first time I casted like this hard, like for my own project. We did Jaden and I were in like directing class before, and we did some casting, but like this was like I went through like 30. How many people that I had like 40 plus applicants. If you include 40 plus applicants, if you include like the video applicants too. So, no, it was cool. But yeah, after the casting. I was just planning to go shoot in Taiwan, but at the time I didn't have like a production company or anything, so I was just kind of going there and just seeing if I could find a producer and we were also missing some other roles. The only people I had for sure before I went to Taiwan was the grandma, and even then the grandma was thinking, oh yeah, maybe if there's other choices I'd be down to check them out, but I had the grandma and then I had the grandson, so and then there's a third main character that I'm still missing. There's some other minor roles that I had some potential actors I could hit up, but yeah, so that's it. Yeah.
What are the themes of the project that you made?
For this film, one thing that really, I was like real talk, like I was kind of struggling, like finishing the final draft of the script, because before I've been working on this story for a bit. Like it first started as like a short story I wrote back when I was living in Taiwan about some ABC guy getting caught teaching English illegally. When that happened, so I wrote that. But then I went to screenwriting class at community college called CCSF, City College of San Francisco, and there's a screen. I was like, you know what? Let me take that short story and like rework it to like a short film, and yeah, my professor Lee Swenson, rest in peace. She's great. She passed not too long ago, but she was awesome. She's like, yeah, I love this grandma character. I like how I brought in this grandma who had to pull that grandson who gets caught out of jail. So, but then after that, I took a break for a while from the story. I went to grad school. That's where CSUN represent. That's where I met you, and then after that, I was like, you know what? I really want this project has been sitting on the back burner for a bit. I was like, let me actually like make this. So I went to revisit the work, and like I was like, but what am I really trying to say? I got the main arc. Grandma has to pull the grandson out of jail, but what's the heart of the story? So I was listening to a couple of things, doing some research, and like. One thing that kind of hit me was like this one story, I think it was NPR or something like that, about this girl like not able to talk to her grandpa because her grandpa only speaks Chinese, speaks Mandarin, and like she's struggling trying to learn, and she gets frustrated. She really wants to reconnect with her grandpa, and that kind of hit me because I think a lot of second gens was Asian American born Taiwanese or Chinese, they come across the same issues, language issues. So that kind of hit me, and that kind of became like a little bit of the heart of the story, you know. And also the Officer Bay character, who's like the police officer that pulls Alan to jail. I started exploring some of the issues that came up when I was living in Taiwan, like Asian male masculinity. Like what does it mean like to be an ABC in Taiwan? Because it's kind of like, oh, it's kind of cool, you're an ABC a little bit. There's a little bit of hypergamy going on in there. It's like, oh, because you went to America, you're somehow a little bit cooler or something. And I think there's some like, you know, I would be like, what the fuck, you know, like what if I was like a Taiwanese dude or something? I'd be like, huh, that's kind of what's that all about? Yeah. So these are some things I'm trying to explore.
Right. So what was it like? I mean, you flew from here, you came to you went to Taiwan to film. Was it difficult finding cast members, or just like a production team or anything? I mean, did you kind of have a setup already? You kind of just winged it.
It was tough, man, because like I was going through like a lot of anxiety, because going into Taiwan, I had a DP, my homie Richard. He's been a big part of like helping me, like giving me the fire to like, oh, you know, I can actually make this, because he and we really click creatively about like how it should look and stuff like that. So I had the DP. I had those two actors I mentioned, the grandma and grandson. I had a potential Officer Bay character. I didn't have a producer. I didn't have hair and makeup. I didn't have all these things. But, so yeah, I just went there, and I kind of like, I knew some people, and I knew that I've lived in Taiwan. I lived in Taiwan for 2 years after college, so I made some connections living there. I also worked, you know, a little bit in the entertainment industry there as well. So I knew I had some connections, but it's been a bit, right? I've been back to Taiwan like the year before too, to like kind of get some traction on the film. That's how I met the grandma character. So coming into it, I was like just going day by day, like so what helped was doing like a Facebook blast. You know, I did a Facebook blast, and I also talked to some like reaching homies of homies, like friends of friends that I met like at Asian American Film Festival. So like one filmmaker, she recommended a producer, and the producer recommended the hair and makeup person I ended up with, and then I worked with a sound guy that last year, the year prior to production, and so I called him, and he helped me out as a sound guy, and then some guy answered the Facebook post. So it's basically like piecing things together, but still it was like a ragtag team still. And I was like, and going into like 2-3 weeks into filming, it looked like we were gonna make something, but it would be like, to be honest, it'd probably be like really run and gun, very like down and dirty, like guerrilla style filmmaking, which is fine. That's where I grew up. That's how I grew up in make that kind of style filmmaking. But then like one of my homies from he's Taiwanese. He's like a DVD CD artist designer, and one of his classmates works for this big company in Taiwan, this film production company. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll introduce you to her. Maybe she can help you out or get some connections, right? And then another person connected me with another smaller production company. And this is after I had posted. And actually, Jaden helped me with the translation for the post from English to Chinese. Like, I would say real talk to like filmmakers out there, like use the social media spaces, because that shit's like it works. Like put you know take your shot, see if someone responds, you know. And so I did that, and so these two producers contacted me, and the one I didn't even think it was possible, but this one production, they're the biggest production company in Taiwan.
Wow.
Or like like as far as feature films, called Central Motion Pictures, Zhonging, and the producer hit me up and said, hey, you know, I'd be interested to meet, you know, no promises yet. And then I met with her, and like she's super cool. Like she's a little bit older than me, but like we're the same generation, and we talked about like kind of the style of the film. She read the script, she liked it, and then I met with another production company, and they were cool too, but they're like very ragtag independent group. So I was like, okay, and she's like, yeah, I'll let you know maybe on Monday, and if it works out, you can like we'll work with you, right? But
Mhm.
you got like, as far as like financing and stuff, I still got to take care of that. But as far as like getting like good like gear and stuff like that, we'll work something out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then so basically, my producer Kara, she signed on. She liked the script, and she thought that I was hardworking. 她说你很认真, like, oh, you're hardworking. I can see that, and I'm down to help you out. And then her boss, her manager, Tanga, he's like he came on board as the gaffer and executive producer. So like, and this guy's like no joke. Yeah, he's legit.
Did you need permits and stuff to film in Taiwan? Or
Yeah,
not?
so we filmed public streets you need permits for, and then also the main issue that the other location I was like hella stressing about was the jail sequence.
Yeah.
There's like a main jail scene.
Where'd you film that?
That was in I think it's called it's like Ruifang. It's in northern Taipei. It's like an hour north of Taipei. But there was a police station that I got some help through the Taipei Film Commission.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But I had to hire a location manager, and that's someone that Kara, my producer, connected me with. So and he took care of the location permits for public streets and for the jail. Yeah.
How long did this take to film, or the process of filming this? How many was it? Like a few weeks, a month, 2 months?
The actual filming took only 5 days.
Oh.
So from December 9th through December 14th. Yeah. So so it only took like 5 days to shoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
But everything else took a while.
Yeah. So wait, December. Oh, December. I think it was the December 9th through December 13th. Anyways, yeah. So about it was 5 days of shooting, and pre-production was like writing the script, all that stuff. That's a while. Yeah. But actual pre-production, getting ready for filming, like getting all the nuts and bolts, it took like about. I've been doing some stuff here in the States before I went over, so I would say like about a month or so. But actual like pre-production in Taiwan prior to shooting was to like 3 weeks, which is kind of crazy. Yeah.
Were there any obstacles that you came across while filming besides, you kind of winged it, but like you went to social media? Were there issues that you came across, from like authority or authorities there, just like in general?
Let me think. Yeah, I mean, as far as like the government and stuff like that, like they were pretty chill. Like I know for the police station, we had to get out by we had a hard out by 8 p.m. So we started at like 8 a.m. So I think that was enough time for me to get what I want. So obstacles like yeah, there's a lot, man. I mean, like it's like a miracle that movies get made. It's kind of ridiculous because it's like so many pieces have to come together. I didn't have an art director until like a week before shooting, and like an art director needs at least probably ideally maybe 2 weeks or something for a short film of this size to like prep the props and stuff like that.
Oh, art director.
Yeah. So art director, they're in charge of like putting up like like this thing, or like putting up paintings or whatever to decorate the space. So we didn't have one, and my producer was like, "Oh, James, if we don't have a art director in the next day or two, we got to push the shoot to a couple of days later, and you might have to like pay extra to extend Greg's flight because Greg was there for a set time. I got him a round trip ticket.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was only there for a set time, so we might have to push the shoot. And then Richard's only there for a set time too because he's from the States as well. So he's the DP. So yeah. So eventually, like I did like another, like media blast, and also I called up. There was one guy who sent me an email like a week before, but I was hard to reach, so I reached out to him again, and it turned out like he was down, and he was visiting Taiwan. He's Taiwanese, but he lives in Amsterdam, Skylar. So basically, he said, "Yeah, I'm down to do it," and his time worked out. So like we met him. It was cool. So and he brought in like an art assistant as well. Like Roderick. Roderick was dope. He's like hella good about like old, like antique. Because we shot at my grandma's place, my grandpa and grandma's place in Lukan. And he was like, he knew how, like, how are you supposed to put the sensual, which is the ancestor table, how to set it up, and that stuff I don't know.
That's cool. That's good that you have someone who knows about the culture and can do it justice. You know?
Yeah.
You don't want to mess it up.
Yeah, there's that, and there's financing. So like, basically, I had to like get financing. I had to call up my mom and like my sister,
right.
and like I have an aunt that helped me out. So like a lot, like it's a Shih family, Chung family produce, like
That's
so,
good. That's awesome. They can support.
Yeah.
When is it? Is it out already?
Nah, I'm working on post production right now.
What does that mean? What's post production?
So post production is basically that's when you get all the ingredients. So it's kind of like cooking. So you got the actors, you got you filmed everything, you got the video, you got everything in like on a hard drive. But then how you gonna get these ingredients and make a film, like cook it together? And then also you need to put the sound in. You gotta put in music. So how are you gonna get this image to this image, and how is it cut together to make an actual story?
Now, do you do all that stuff, or do you have someone else that does the editing?
I'm looking for an editor right now, actually. So I'm looking for an editor. I did some of the sound syncing, like syncing the sound, because they're recorded separately, the sound and the video. So I synced some of it, and then I got some homie to sync it for me. Yeah. So right now I'm just organizing files. I'm going through I gotta watch it, and then find an editor, and then I'm gonna do like a Kickstarter soon. So check it out. There'll be a Kickstarter coming out soon. So maybe when this comes out. So come out and support, yeah. Do
you have a rough estimate of when this film will be ready for release?
End of May.
End of May? Okay.
Probably end of May.
We got time.
Yeah. We got some time, yeah. Like final, because like ideally probably before that, but the next deadline that I have to hit is like in June. That's for the Golden Horse Film Festival in Taiwan. So and that's like the Oscars of Asia.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm trying to hit that shit.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome, man.
No, man, because like, dude, this budget is like ridiculous. I never like, dude, like having like real. I never asked my family for this much money before. Well, outside of like college,
Yeah.
But like it's like. This is like tuition money. I was like, damn, this is like, and then so I got into it with my mom a little bit because then she's essentially an investor. So I sent her the script because she was curious, and then she's like, James, this line, you gotta take this out. I was like, what?
Why?
Because it's like some officer saying some cussing. He's like saying like
You can't say that.
Like I'm like, well, in this situation he might cuss, right? And she's like, no, this is not cool. Like it's like some like hard shit, like fuck your mom or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He's like saying that to someone that like really angers him, the grandson, and then so like I got into it with my mom arguing about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you shoot the line?
And I was like, dude, like maybe he would say that because like you can see like the other guy's kind of pushing him, right?
Yeah.
And then we went back and forth.
Oh.
Yeah. So like. It's not easy because it's like especially when money's involved and creative licenses involved.
Yeah.
Like it can strain relationships, but eventually we came to a compromise.
That's good.
So like instead of fuck your mom, it'd be like fuck or something like that. Yeah. Or like yeah.
You wanna know what I think?
What? Yeah.
All you fucking ABCs are the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Real Officer Bray.
Yeah. He's reading the line right now. Yeah. So Vaughn right here, he was the reader for Officer Bay's character. So like so that damn, you still remember that shit?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The Real Officer Bay.
Real Officer Bay.
Hey, my Instagram name is gonna be the Real Officer.
The Real Officer Bay. Yeah. But the guy we found, like, there's some other shit too that happened. Was there was like another guy that I was thinking about casting, right? But my producer was telling me like, hey, there might be a.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, yo. No, this is Jaden, by the way. What's up? Can you see him? Yeah.
What's up, guys?
There's another guy that we're thinking about, but yeah, it's just it's the other thing is like making tough creative choices, right?
Yeah.
And all I'm gonna say is that eventually, I made the decision. I'm not gonna take. No one else should take it, but I made the decision to cast Officer Bay as like an older gentleman, and who's basically giving a little bit more contrast to the Alan character, who's like the ABC in his 20s. So we casted really great actor Chen Mu Yi, Mr. Chen, and yeah, he really brought it, and he really brought that fire too. And also, what's interesting is that all this thinking about lines and like making it like hella perfect and stuff. It's interesting because once you get on set, you realize, oh, dude, the actor will change it up and make it better. And then that's when I have to like, oh, I gotta let go.
Right.
That's like, oh shit, that's better. And that's better. So like that argument with my mom, I didn't even have to worry about. Yeah.
So, what was Taiwan like, man? I mean, I've never been there. I won't imagine a lot of the listeners haven't been there. What's it like? I mean, coming from, let's assume that you're not from there. You go there. Like, what's it like?
Yo, real talk. If you hit up Tinder in Taiwan and you an Asian man, you're like ABC or something, it's a lot easier. Like real talk.
Yeah.
And this is confirmed like from someone else I was working with who another homie that was there that's ABC. So I'm like, that's interesting, And it kind of confirmed kind of like the hypothesis that I had going in, and also it's talked about in the film as well. It's like it's interesting because here, like we're in America, we're not the dominant culture.
Yeah.
Dominant culture is white. Let's be honest, right? It's so because of that, it's like I still get matches. I don't use Tinder, but I use like another.
Use Hinge, huh?
I use Coffee Meets Bagel right now. Yo, sponsor this podcast.
I never.
Yeah.
You know what? I never got any luck with Coffee Meets Bagel.
Interesting.
It's
okay.
tough. Do you get a lot of bagels?
But the thing
coffee?
is, I think it's I get my coffee and bagels on Coffee Meets Bagels, because
nothing.
I think it's also like fucking, I don't know if we should talk, but like that fool.
No.
Anyways, yo, but like,
Yeah.
I think it depends on like your style and like your demographic and like, dude, I suck. My Tinder sucks.
I stopped using Tinder.
It's garbage. When I was here, like I was not getting anything. But Coffee Meets Bagel, I was getting a little bit more matches.
Yeah.
But it's always depressing if you have a white friend and homie who's like not ugly and who's like decently like like stable or whatever, and you look at his shit and you're like, oh fuck. Yeah, this fool's getting hella matches.
Yeah, but at the same time though, there's
but
like
who cares?
There's a lot of women that do like Asian guys. Just it's not. Really, It's not really posted much like on the media or anything, but it's coming out.
No, it's
hella,
true.
Hella Latinas like them Filipino boys.
No, it's true. No,
yeah,
that's
and a lot
real
of
talk.
white girls like Chinese guys, Taiwanese.
Yeah, Taiwanese, Chinese guys, BTS guys.
Motherfucking BTS, dude.
BTS.
Like, do you feel like since the K-pop wave came in, there's been more of like a appreciation for Asian men or Asian men that kind of look or seem like they're a K-pop group kind of thing?
Yeah, you know what? Like, I mean, going back to Taiwan, like, they're big on Korean culture there too.
Really?
Yeah. So I went there and like when I was living there about 10 years ago, they were more all about like Japanese culture because of the Japanese influence, anime. But like Korean stuff, because of the Hallyu, the Korean wave, they're kind of taking, they're kind of similar in America in the sense where it's like there's a bunch of Korean restaurants popping up in Taipei, and a lot of people are learning Korean and stuff like that because of K-dramas and stuff like that. And in the U.S., like real talk, I told you this, right? I went on one of the few Tinder matches I got. She had like this freaking like 안녕하세요, which means hello in Korean, and like ni hao, which means hello in Chinese, on like her Tinder profile. She's a white lady, and I was just like, okay, that's maybe some yellow fever going on, right?
Yeah.
So I was curious. We set up a date. We met up, and she's told me like, yeah, I only date Asian guys. I was like, what?
Okay.
What? Okay.
I know a couple women like that. That's cool.
The thing is, if a dude said that, a white dude said, I only date Asian girls.
Yeah.
Now, what's your response to that, though?
At first I'd be like, okay, that's weird, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know your background, I don't know your preference, I don't know, maybe you live with Asian you live with a lot of Asians in your life?
Maybe he grew up with a bunch of Asians.
Yeah,
maybe.
I know a lot of white boys that like grew up with like a lot of Asian dudes, and there's like, yeah, it's fuck where I grew up, you know.
Okay.
But
okay. I'll tell you right now, I'll be like, what the fuck? This is racist, motherfucker.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, at first I'm like that, but
I mean, that's my initial reaction. I would dig, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like to each his own. You know, I believe for every person that feels that way, another person feels like the opposite. Like, oh, I only date Asian guys. But I get what you're saying though.
I think the proper because what's racism? Racism is saying one race is better than another, right?
Yeah.
Or it's like also in using race as a form of oppression or suppression,
yeah.
right? So like for that situation, like it depends. I think it's cool to have a preference, but like I think you gotta be open to like other races too. Like you might be connecting with other people as well, right?
Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
I think there's a difference from preference to I only date so and so.
Right, when it becomes like a hard ass rule.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know. So like, and I did, I hanged out with her a second time, and I got that weird vibe, man. Like it was like, oh, like how am I Asian enough for this girl? You know, like she's asking me to teach her some Chinese phrases. She thought that was super cute, and I was just getting some weird vibes, like some fetish shit,
Yeah, I get you. It's like, do you like me for me? Do you like the fact that I'm Asian? Do you like the fact that I can kind of like
I can't separate it. I am Asian.
Yeah.
I don't. And I rep my culture, right? Like so I love I love Taiwanese stuff. So. But like, yeah, no, you're right. Like, how much is it? Like, they talk about your true self, right? Or what? And how much are you really into my true self? But, anyways, back to Taiwan. Like, Taiwan's great. Public transportation's hella cool. The ladies are pretty fire. Like, real talk. Like, I think the ladies there are pretty cute.
Now, do you feel that if someone who's not Taiwanese went there would share your same sentiments, your same experience? So let's say I'm Filipino, I've never been to Taiwan. Do you think like someone who doesn't speak Chinese or Taiwanese would have a easy time navigating, or is it like is not everyone hip to English or no?
Like as far as English, like the younger generation, most of them speak like English or basic English. I think a lot of there's a lot of foreigners that go to Taiwan as like a destination or Taipei. I think if you go like further south of Taiwan, it's a little bit harder without English, but you'll still get by in the major cities. But like, that's why I freaking love like language though. Is like if once you learn a language or get conversational in a language, like it opens up whole new experiences. Like that's real talk. If I learned Filipino and Tagalog and went to Philippines, I'm sure it's the same way.
Yeah.
So I think as visiting on vacation, it's a great experience as a foreigner. But honestly, like if you want to like work there and like get to know the culture and the people and stay for an extended period of time, you gotta learn the Mandarin or Taiwanese.
Yeah.
Or both.
I'll be sorry. Okay. Technical difficulties. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I think we pretty much answered everything. You went to Taiwan. You're like, to go to work there. To do work, you have to know Taiwanese or Mandarin.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's see. So you're looking for like a May release for this movie?
Yeah. I'm looking for a May, June release for this movie, and it's been to be honest, I took a little break from it. After shooting, I went to Tokyo for 4 days. Okay. Just to relax, to like decompress. Yeah. And then Japanese girls be fire too, man. I mean, I don't know, man. So maybe I'm a bad guy. I'm digging these Asian women. I mean, I'm not exclusive just to Asian women, but like I gotta tell you, man. Like Tokyo girls be like they dress up. Maybe it's because like it's Tokyo, it's stylish, Yeah. Yeah. So, so I went to Tokyo. I met up with like I met up with like a friend of a friend there, and also most of the time I was just chilling by myself and like reflecting. And one thing I realized, like kind of after before filming, during the filming, prior to Tokyo, we had this a rap party. So generally for film, this is across the internet. This is international. After you make a film, you do a rap party, right?
Like, okay, wrap it up. Like
you have a party, like everyone gets together and say, "Hey, thank you for the work,
Mm-hmm.
and let's eat and drink and be merry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Ge, the executive producer, Gaffer, he was like, James, did you have fun? I was like, you know, it's like you look like you still have, like, you're still holding your breath a little bit. I'm like, there's like some parts I still wanted, like, on the last day of filming, there was like a shot I just like, I wish I got that shot. In Mandarin we call it yihan. Yihan is like kind of like this regret, like a regret, or this feeling of like I still missing something, right? He's like, dude, oh, it's okay, like, watch the footage, and if you need to do a reshoot, you can do that. I'm like, what, really? He's like, yeah. Every director he's ever worked with has never been fully satisfied after a shoot. Like, because if you are, then maybe that's the problem, actually. But there's no, I think this is the same with music too, probably. It's like after you do it's like, oh shit, maybe I should have said a line a different way, but I don't know, maybe. But like, I know for filmmaking, it's just like, oh fuck, I wanted this one last look from this one actor, and I wish I got another take, you know, all that shit. And he's like, dude, James, are you having fun? I'm like, I don't know, I'm like kind of stressing. Are you having fun? Like, why are you doing this, right? So, and it really like made me kind of open up my thoughts about like, so we talked about this, like Power of Now, right? And I actually finished listening to the audiobook. And I think kind of incorporating that to the creative process, because I think as creators, as creative people, you know, we're so focused on getting the outcome, the product. Yeah, it's important. You have to, like, why are we doing all this work? So we have a good movie, a good song, a good whatever product, right? But that's fine. It's having a goal and taking the steps to reach that goal. But in the moment, do you actually enjoy the act of creating, the act of filming, the act of directing, the act of acting or writing, whatever?
Yeah.
Do you actually enjoy it? So I'll tell you about the short film, the script, right? After rewriting it so many times, I was like, fucking, I hate this shit, you know? But then, like, I told you about that kind of connecting that breakthrough with that loss of language and stuff like that. And I started rewriting it and started getting more into Officer Bay's character and his hatred towards ABCs, and like the cultural differences between, you know, Asians, Taiwanese, and then Taiwanese Americans, and like kind of like, oh shit, okay, and like I start like, basically it was enjoyable writing, and what that means is to me is that like I enjoyed the process, and I felt to myself like, you know what, I remember at the times like, if I don't get this made, at least I had the experience of writing it, if that makes sense, you know, and I enjoyed this experience of writing it. So to write, or to enjoy having written, it's actually different things. So I think it goes to like the process of filmmaking as well, like getting the actors together, the stress of like reaching the shoot, working with, you know, directing actors, and maybe things are not working well and trying to get blah blah blah. I chose this, or I have this illusion of choice that I chose this, whatever, if you want to talk about free will determinism. But anyways, I still have no choice but to feel that I have a choice in this. And I was like going through like this whole like thing about you know, how much can I really control, you know? And that's why I think a lot of philosophers, a lot of religions, they talk about letting go, right? Or letting and just be. There's one phrase like 佛心, which is like Buddhist heart, and having a Buddhist heart where it's just like, and 缘分. 缘分is a Mandarin phrase for like, it's kind of like fate, but it's not really as deterministic. The feeling of it is not as deterministic as fate, because though some may argue it is, but the way I think of 缘分 is kind of like, all these things will come together, and if things will happen, they will happen, if that makes sense. This movie, this producer, these actors, I'm doing the best I can with my choice, but if it's gonna cook and work together, I have to leave that up to 缘分. It'll come together or not. Right. And so yeah, so in that, so you know, during the dinner and even before that, he was kind of coaching me a little bit. And during the dinner, he's like, James, you enjoy this dinner, because what else can you do right now? Yeah, sure, maybe you have to do reshoots, maybe you have to do this, but in this moment, what can we do right now?
Right.
And I was like, okay, and I enjoyed it, and it helped. It made me enjoy the dinner more, reconnect with the people I worked with, reminisce about the shoot. Because guess what? Us all being together, eating together, probably not gonna happen again, unless maybe for like maybe a festival, maybe but not everyone's gonna be. It's gonna be a different time.
I like that. Yeah.
So it's kind of like so that kind of shit's been. If anything, that's like one of the main lessons I took from filming, and that's probably, and of course I'm busting my butt to like get a good product, right? But I'm learning and I'm practicing each time to like enjoy the process as well, because if not, why don't I just go work at fucking In-N-Out or some shit? Shout out to people who work at In-N-Out. I love those burgers, but like, why don't I just get like a regular day job or something? And I'm looking for a job, but like. Yeah, it's just like why do I struggle for this? And it's kind of like what Mark Manson talks about is like you gotta choose your struggles, and I chose this struggle, and
like that.
And once I choose, if I choose the struggle, if I can find some beauty in the struggle, the beautiful struggle, as a Q-tip would say, right? Yeah.
All right, I think the battery's gonna run low. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
We'll check out the Kickstarter, everything.
Links. So I'll get those links and
shoot me the links.
If I could, so please support my. This is a short film that's close to my heart, but making a film is not cheap. There's the actors. There's you have to pay. There's crew, equipment. And also post-production. Post-production is no joke. I have to pay for like getting the sound mix, making everything sound great, because like let's be honest, like sound is like almost half the picture, right? So sound, get editing, the coloring. So all this stuff costs money, and I'm not a rich filmmaker. I'm not like I don't have like with your support, I can make this all happen, and also you can get behind the scenes views as a supporter. I'll make sure that you guys get perks and stuff like that. So and Vaughn, thank you so much for being on the platform, and
no problem, man. Thank you so much. Voncast show.
Voncast show, yeah.
Check that out.
Yeah.